Hi folks, let me walk you through some of the basic setups for First Class. In fact, let me show you when you log in the information you need. The server is mail.stt.org, and under Advanced is where you can set that up. Click this arrow down, go to Setup, and that goes in here. You can preset, make sure it always pops up your user ID and your password. On my school computer, I never put my password in. My home one, that folks don't have access to, I will, just to make it easy. Okay, so save that, and then you can close that up, and then we're gonna log in. All right, so here we go. You might see things here based looking like icons, right? Might look a little crazy. And then when you open something out, this is kind of funny over here. When you open it, you get a new window, and then it's kind of all over the place. So what I recommend is that you do the following, okay? I would show things by list. I would view by list here in this main thing, okay? Then you may notice these red flags. It means there are items there that have not been read yet. Then I like to use these corner toggles, these corner little arrows, to expand out my different tile options, if you will, so that I can read email. So notice how this works. If I click in my mailbox, I want to read something from, this alum who wants her transcript. I have to open it to read it, right? But alternatively, if I click on this guy here and go back to her email, remember, then you'll see it over here on the right. So I can easily go through my emails that way. Now you might prefer it to go this way. Notice how I just click it as many times as I need to until I get the format I like. So you might prefer it to look like this and read below, and then you can scroll within that. So those are options. You can create folders within your mailbox. So that's something that I use a lot of, as you can tell. You may or may not need to do that with yours to stay organized, but it's certainly an option. And the way you create anything new is under the new. So new folder, new contact list, new conference, etc. Okay, so that's how we kind of can make this visually work well for you. Let's talk about some settings. I'm going to scroll this baby. Oopsies. I can't scroll that over. Okay. Well, at the top of your screen, click on First Class and open First Class Preferences, or you can do Command or should be Control, comma. Should get you this Preferences screen. Okay. Once you're here, under General, I would keep it default for now. One thing you want to decide, some people really like having inbox and outboxes separate. I like mine unified, whatever works for you, okay? Under calendar, I don't recommend using the calendar in First Class because it doesn't lend itself well to it. So I would not worry about that at all. You can use the calendar online in my school app, where we do all our calendaring and all of our courses and all of our assignments and attendance and everything, grading. Let's do that there. Under content, it's good to choose a standard font size that will translate across any device, any platform. So something funky and unique might come across looking kind of weird to others outside of St. Tim. So something basic is good here. I do like to have my linked text be underlined and in blue. So this sort of stuff you can come back and play with. And I do recommend you choose to have spell check settings attached to an email. It'll run this just before you leave, before you send. So every time you go to send an email, if you choose this, it will check the email, and then you can put in options or tell it to ignore stuff. I do have it ignore quoted text and URLs, etc. All of this is under content here, right? And under options, I don't play with this at all much, but if you don't want to wear your reading glasses or there's something here you want to play with, come on back, no worries. Okay, that's content. Now let's look at viewing. It may not default to this, but I prefer to make sure it shows the newest stuff at the top. Choose which works for you. Messaging is where we're going to do the most work here. Under mail rules, I do not have my St. Tim's email on my phone. Some people choose to do that. I try to keep that separate. So I also don't want to miss any urgent emails that come through on my own personal mail. So what I'll do is I'll automatically forward any local mail, meaning from anyone else at St. Tim's, and internet mail. I'll forward to my Gmail. And then this is an option up here for replying if indeed you're out of town, so once in a while that happens for me. And then you can just choose those. Be sure to apply. And I always reply sender, not reply all, because that can get crazy. Initial content is where you will put in a kind of a, who you are, what's your phone number. The science department one year asked us to put in a quote that, was about the environment or we cared about. So this is a gal whose mom I went to college with, and she earned the Nobel Peace Prize. She's pretty cool. And then a standard statement about St. Tim's. So I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to pop that in here. And now whenever I send an email, this will be at the bottom of my emails, and I'll click apply. The other thing you might want to be sure you do, if you prefer to have your cursor where you're going to start writing a response be above the text that just came in, make sure you're choosing before quote. I like to name and timestamp things for sort of records of keeping track of where stuff goes. Instant messaging doesn't, we can use it. Folks generally don't. It's something that, if you want to use, I can show you. It's pretty straightforward. Paging, we don't use. Under audio, I recommend you decide whether or not you want to hear a ping every time that a new email comes in. Drives me crazy. Some people like it because it lets them know their stuff stacking up there. I just get too many in an hour. I can't handle it. So I just turn it off, but you can choose to play with that as works for you. Okay? Don't worry about web, voice, and handheld devices. You can run back through this, but I would apply and OK, and then that closes that down. Okay? So a couple other things that could be helpful to you in using St. Tim's First Class email. If you haven't used First Class before, it's not nearly so slick as Microsoft Outlook, sorry, but this is what we use. So if I go to create a new email, see there's my signature that I just put in, test email, what have you. If I want to look up someone in the school, so let's say I want to look up Julie, oh, there's a Julie Acker. Let's say I want to look up a someone Johnson. There are two different Johnsons. So you see how within our internal system, there are different people that if they have the same name or the same initials or the same, I can do initials, I can do H space I, and you get Heather Ireland. So anytime there's something unique, if I type in God, I get God a Jobber, good stuff like that. Notice how there's this green person right here next to the name. That shows it's an internal person. But if I want to do mom@gmail.com as an example, and if I click down here, this is not going to mail to mom because she has no person next to her. You have to hit tab or enter, and now the purple person indicates it's recognized this as a valid email address, and it's going to try to send this email to mom@gmail.com. You can always check the directory. Who is on? These are all contacts. Oh, hello. There we go. Here are all the St. Tim's people. Don't worry about the colors. If you guys are purple, you'll be green. So you can see students, faculty tells you who they are, coaches, admin, and if they are in bold, like this, Leslie Lichtenberg, you know that that person is actually online at the moment. Just as if I were to email Leslie, notice how it comes up in bold. That's how I know she's online. She may not be guaranteed at her desk, but she is online. Okay. Another thing you can do, this doesn't default to doing this, is show BCC here, right? And other options are always over here under the drop-down list. What else can I show you? I don't recommend printing straight out of email. It tends to print really big and then take up millions of pieces of paper. So I would copy and paste something out of an email and then print from there. You can certainly send things urgent. One thing that the girls like and teachers like too typically is if you've got an email that you've sent, let's say it's this one. Let me do this instead. If you right click on this, you have some other information, and one of the things folks like is to mark as unread to kind of make sure they go back and flag it. Or alternatively, or in addition, one can also click on history. And what that does is it tells you when it was created, when it was mailed, who read it when, who downloaded the attachment or didn't. So it's a way to keep, to know if someone's gotten to your email or not. and that can be really helpful. So I know that Katie sent me this, when was this? On the 20th. So I gotta get back to her. Okay, so in addition to your own mailbox, right here, there are a couple other places that you want to be aware of. The things that you will use. One thing to start keeping track of now in the summer is the faculty area. So mailbox and faculty area, these do time out. Stuff doesn't hang out here forever. But it's stuff that, this is where faculty post for faculty. And girls do not see this. Only faculty and staff see this, and it's something that where we share news of the school, or such as one of our new babies here on campus, Josephine, or information that we need, such as Wendy Anderson in the business office sent out information about our paychecks, which is very important to have. Okay, we are going to also, some of these we're going to take away. I would stick with those for now. You will use the Proctor folder. You may not see that yet. I'll add you to it, but that's for some evening stuff. Don't worry about any of that. Let's keep it under 12 minutes. Play around with your email, play around with your settings. If you see a lot of buttons down here, like these different lines, like lots of little tiles, you can just right click on them and remove them or add them. So if you have a lot of these, you know, tiles built up, I remember that now. Mine are gone because I took them out, but you can play with that too. Okay, so I hope that helps. Give it a listen through. Feel free to email me or call me. You have my number if you've got any additional questions or concerns about stuff. Oh, you can unsend. One more. I sent something to, these are all ins. Okay, Shizara. I can unsend something and then resend it again. So you know how you send something and forgot to add the attachment? So annoying. So you can unsend it and add the attachment, or unsend it and fix something when you realize you spelled someone's name wrong. Of course, that only works on our internal email within St. Tim's. Once it's out in the grand world, it's done. Okay. All right. Give me a holler if you need anything. I hope this is helpful, and look forward to more of these little goofy videos from me in the future. Take care.